This is Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Hey buddy, welcome to Teaching to the Test Pattern. I'm Tom White, your host, and on today's show I talk with Mark Rothberg and Lauren Scherer from the NFHS Network and here in Atlanta. I spent some time with them last Thursday, and it was a very cool time to be there because I got to see how the network was reacting and handling everything getting canceled, everything falling out. And Lauren talks about that a little bit in her in this episode, where she's got to go talk to California about how they're going to do some stuff. If you didn't catch my interview with Stephen Dyer from the NFHS Network, go listen to that and specifically the peer-to-peer CDN and how that can impact what you're doing. I'm going to share this with you. If you are a video teacher who focuses on broadcasting and you have not reached out to your school admin, your county admin, your public administrators, your sheriff, your police chief, your mayor, and said, hey, we have these facilities, I have these abilities, let's do something. Let me help you, get your message out. You're an idiot. I didn't post that. I posted you're dumb on the Facebook group. But if you haven't, you're an idiot. You have a special set of skills that a lot of people don't have. You have a lot access to things that a lot of people don't have. Reach out, make those offers, make those commitments, give up your personal time, because in the end, it's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit your program, and it's going to be super awesome. If you haven't started your live streaming stuff, here's my suggestion. Amitrace.com, Amitrace.com. Go to their website, peruse it. Right now, I'm looking at the Jones County High School setup. It's phenomenal. It looks great. It looks like a professional setup because it is a professional setup inside a high school. It's fantastic. It's loaded with TriCaster equipment. Speaking of TriCaster equipment, yesterday, my superintendent took me up on my offer of, hey, let me help you. He came in. I dumped the script into my TriCaster. I have the advanced edition, so I have the automation stuff in there. Dumped it in there, pumped it to my teleprompters in the studio, all over NDI, by the way. Counted him in. I hit record. He said his thing. He had a teleprompter. He had graphics. He had a good look. I put him in front of... I took a picture and put it as the background using one of the MEs in the TriCaster. Less than 5 minutes after he's done, it's on YouTube and it's on the school social media to get that message out. And the only reason it took that long was because he didn't want to live stream it in case he messed up. That's it. Thanks to TriCaster, I was able to do that. If you want that ability, Amitrace.com, Amitrace.com. Go check them out. After you check out this episode of Teaching to the Test Pattern with Lauren Scherer and Mark Rothberg from the NFHS Network.
Teaching to the Test Pattern.
I've been teaching 10 years now. I can't believe it. I mean, we streamed our first event my first Friday in the classroom.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was like, it was, it's been interesting. It's been very interesting. So that's what the podcast is for. So, cool. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
All right.
As ready as I'm going to be.
So I don't do hey, we're here. We just start talking.
Okay.
So what I'll do is just have you guys introduce yourselves. I'm with Mark and Lauren at the NFHS Network headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. And Lauren, tell us who you are, kind of what you do here for the network.
Yeah, this is Lauren Scherer. I've been here for a little over 5 years. And basically I work with our SBP, our top SBP schools on the network. And I help with the marketing as well across the whole board, or I guess the gamut, if you will, with all SBP schools, trying to help them promote their programs and let their fans know that this is available and to watch your teams every night and, support your school.
And SBP is School Broadcast Program.
Yes, correct. School Broadcast Program.
Okay. And Mark?
Mark Rothberg. I have been at the NFHS Network for 9 years, which is almost at its inception, about a year and a half in. I run the School Broadcast Program, which involves signing schools up, getting them onboarded, and then making sure they're happy and growing their programs.
Excellent. So, obviously right now, and it is March 12th, 2020 that we're doing this. And right now, streaming is top of mind. It is how a lot of people are going to get their sports, their I mean, for some people, it's how they're going to get class. So outside of that, why is streaming important to a school system?
Yeah, I think I'll start off. I mean, it's just getting their sports and their student athletes out into the community. I mean, if you're not going to, we live in a world where you can't always make it to a stadium or into a gym. Parents are traveling, grandparents are out of town, and it's just a great way now that, you can watch your student athletes play without having to be in the venue. And it just helps, increase school spirit into the community.
Agree with Lauren completely. I think it really has become a very strong communication piece for the school. So whether they're streaming sports, streaming other events that are happening at the school, it allows engagement, and it increases engagement, which I think is the thing I like most about what Lauren said, because everyone's lives are crazy in 2020. So being able to stay actively engaged, whether it's because your students or your kids playing, you went to that school, you live in that neighborhood, and you're able to still stay involved with the school.
Yeah, and just one relevant thing for the time now, being it's March 12th and we're living through what we're living through, I have a call after this with a school in California. They're going to be out of school until April 1st, and they want to use the network to stream updates. And basically they're going to have a news, if you will, each day or every day that updates come out, and it's just a way that they can send out a link to whatever's going on in their school community to let them know where we are in this process, when school's getting back or what have you. So I mean, that's not something we planned on ever doing, because you don't think we're going to have a pandemic like we are, but it's relevant, and our schools can use this service for that.
And the great thing about when you stream from a school is that it does touch that community and it builds a culture. So let's get simple. What does my approach for this, as I told you guys before we started, was that teacher who has never streamed, has never thought about streaming. What's needed to stream? I mean, what are the basic elements to get started?
Really, with us, all you need is a laptop, a camera, a little dongle that connects the two, and an internet connection, and you can go out and stream things. You can probably stream to Facebook Live from your phone. We've had apps that have been able to do that, and you just lose so much of the quality and the ability to do anything that we really focus on those. But most schools can scrounge up a laptop and a camera. Any kind of handy cam works, because the handy cams they make now are so nice that for $100 you can get a camera that has really good zoom.
So what are you guys seeing in terms of with schools getting started? What are they doing first? How are they, where are they seeing their growth points as they start with this whole streaming process?
So typically it's with either school news or football. What's nice about football is typically every sport is important, but it's the most popular sport at a school, and it also is the least number of events. So for a teacher to commit to 5 football games, exactly when they're going to be, where they're going to be, you have a pretty controlled environment. It makes it a lot easier than saying we're going to try to stream all of the soccer or the or basketball, which could have 3 to 4 times as many events.
And you said something there about controlled environment, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people who aren't streaming yet don't understand, is that 90% of the time that you go out and broadcast something, it is a controlled environment. 90% of the time it works flawlessly, but it's that 10% that kind of sticks in a lot of people's minds and keeps people away. What are some of the biggest obstacles you guys have seen people deal with as they start their programs to kind of get them, to say, hey, you're not alone in this, and it's things that other people have handled?
So I think some of the biggest things are internet. Having internet connectivity at a press box is not always there. Using like a 4G card when all of a sudden 4,000 or 5,000 people are in the stadium, and that isn't when they went out and practiced or they've done smaller events they're not going to have. And then the other thing is just the people factor. You have that teacher that wants to do it, finding a couple students, knowing you can depend on them to show up. Once you've committed to do something, it, puts a little bit of pressure on you. So if all of a sudden, some students don't show up, it's not like Tom White circa 10 years ago where he's running an entire broadcast by himself, like a one-man wrecking crew.
And I also think part of it is just educating your fan base what you're actually doing and what it takes to do it. You know, you'd like to think that if someone knows that there's a 16-year-old who's never done this before behind the microphone for the first time, maybe fans will go a little bit easier on him or her. Maybe not. But I just always like to tell people, you know, educate your fans. Let them know what's actually going on. You're starting this from scratch. We're not professionals here. We're a 16-year-old kid who just thinks he wants to do this one day.
Yeah, it's educational.
Let him have at it. You know, just don't crush him on his first day.
I had a conversation with someone at a baseball game last week where, you know, obviously as the home team, when our batters come up, there's pre-recorded intros and that kind of stuff. But then the other team, the kid, again, a kid, probably 14-year-old, I think he was a freshman, on the microphone you couldn't hear. Well, it was an issue with the PA system, not the kid. Mm-hmm. And the parents just the whole time were grumbling and yelling at the kid. And finally, you know, I'd had enough, and I was like, listen, that's a 14-year-old kid over there. You know,
he can't even drive a car yet.
Yeah. And, you know, the other thing is it's one of those things where, you know, for that kid, that parent could have gotten that kid and not ruined his life, but prevented him from doing that long term. Right. So I think you're right in the education piece there.
Teaching to the test pattern.
And expanding on that final point, make sure that you are not afraid to go out and protect your students and empower them. And really it builds a deeper relationship with them when they see that, wow, my teacher went and told that lady about me in a way that made that lady realize that I'm doing something special. So build on that. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Got a couple more episodes with Mark and Lauren coming down in the next couple of days. Super important content coming, including automation and how the Pixelot camera can really change your life. It has for mine. I have one now. I have two more that I'm ordering. I cannot wait to get them into the building, get them installed. Thank you again for listening. If you're at home and have nothing to do, reach out. Teaching to the Test Pattern on Facebook. I'd love to chat with you. Share this with your friends. Share them with your teacher friends. If there's a new teacher that you know needs this kind of content, send it to them. Tell me about it. I'll give you a shout out. Have a great day, and as always, go make some awesome.
Teaching to the test pattern.